Subscribe our channel 13 and press that bell icon to get an instant update of our latest content.
Hello and welcome. You are listening to 13, a podcast about being and creating. This is a podcast that acknowledges the mundane and celebrates the everyday. Here, we interact, read, and share our experiences with an intent to be and to create. Your hosts for today are Shantesh and myself Prasanna. So let's get started. We in India celebrate three national festivals: our Independence Day on 15th August, our Republic Day on 26th January, and yes, 2nd October, we celebrate the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. So happy Gandhi Jayanti to all. Let me start today's podcast sharing a small incident which is well captured in Richard Attenborough's movie on Gandhi. At around 2 hours 24 minutes in the movie, you see Gandhiji sitting with some of the leaders of India's freedom movement at his ashrama. These leaders include Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Jinnah, Sardar Patel, and Maulana Azad. While spinning his charkha, the spinning wheel, Gandhiji says, "These Britishers are only trying to split us in the old way, but their will has gone. Independence will fall like a ripe apple. The only question is when and how." On this, Nehru says, "Well, I say when is now, and we will determine how." "Precisely," says Jinnah, sitting on the armchair smoking his cigarette. At that very moment, a girl from the ashrama comes walking carrying a goat with her and says that the goat is limping. On which Gandhiji says, "It's only a sprain. Take her to the river. We will make a mud pack for her. You proceed, I will be there in a moment." Then the leaders continue the conversations. In between the serious discussion of strategy for India's freedom, Gandhiji stands up and says, "Now, if you excuse me, I have something to attend to. It's time to apply a mud pack for the goat." And he leaves. It's kind of funny to see all those leaders sitting there completely zapped.
So, I have watched this movie and I do remember this scene, and it's quite comical when you think about it. Uh, Whether this incident really happened or not is another debate and not relevant actually. But if you really but if it really did happen, then it definitely does portray one of the characters of Gandhiji, and that is, to him, life in general was above all. Uh, Now, whether it is the life of the nation or that poor goat, they all were equally important to him, and I think he operated from that context.
Yeah, absolutely. So, even for me, the one thing which comes out of that particular scene is his importance for his own world rather than getting carried away by the dignity and the position of the leaders who are sitting there, because those were all big leaders. It was not like some new karyakartas who are just recently joined into some political situation. Those were all famous leaders sitting there in his own ashrama, and then from there to stand up and go with that girl for applying a mud pack on the goat. I think that gesture itself was communicating. And I have seen such incidences in Gandhiji's life where he has been doing that. Like, for example, in the same movie, there is one scene where Gandhiji is, I think, gone into Jinnah's bungalow, and there are all other leaders, same leaders like Nehru, Sardar Patel, and Maulana Azad. And the discussion is, if I'm not wrong, it is just before the independence. So, how will the rule of the nation be? Who will rule the nation? How the division of the parties be done? Whether it is the Muslim League or the Congress? So, all that discussions are happening. So, my point is serious discussions again. And suddenly at the door, a person comes with a servant comes with a few cup of teas, and Gandhiji, on seeing him at the door, he immediately runs there. He takes that from the hand of that servant or the tray, and he starts serving to everyone the tea. And the conversation at that time was that how he wants to embarrass the Britishers for treating us as slave. So if you see the
Hmm.
in his gestures, he has been doing that very prominently. So it's not only about talk on the philosophical level, but also in his walk and his actions.
Absolutely. I think there are two layers to Gandhiji's way of being, I think. If you observe at one level, there is integrity, and he is constantly demonstrating that through his actions, continuously, ongoingly. And also, there is a commitment towards India's freedom, and that again reflects into each and every action of his, that what kind of nation he wants or what to give to the people of an independent India. So, integrity and commitment are the two things you can observe. Now, in the context of his famous quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world," says it all, I think, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, as you rightly said, it has become a cliche now that be the change you want to see in the world. We talk about it in a very normal way, and that happens normally to all great leaders. If you see, all their quotes become cliche, but then they are cliche for a reason, and because they add value to the whole thing. So, if we look at this particular thing, as you rightly said, many a times we see in our life now, whether I'm managing a project or a business or I'm working as an employee in some organization, I get so much into the thick and thin of it that I think that that's my life. And then the rest of the things are like kept aside. And when we were discussing, Shantesh, about this podcast, we were looking at focusing on the daily activities, the mundane activities, the things which we do on everyday basis. And if you see Gandhiji's action, particularly there, whether it is to apply the mud pack or whether it is to support the servant in the tea serving, or whether it is to take his daily walks, so that categorization or compartmentalization of his day or his life was very diligently done. So it was not that one thing is more important than other, but his own commitment to those topics, his own values associated with those topics were more important, rather than getting carried away or getting into an obsessive mode in one particular topic. And then many a times we realize that years pass by and we are completely into something, and then we realize, oh my god, what I have done, I have spent almost 10 years doing this particular thing only, and rest of my life I have not even lived. And this is the experience of most of us in many areas.
Right. Uh, and also among actions, no, how does one decide between the two things at hand to attend to? Whether to attend a serious discussion about working towards India's independence, or to go and apply a mud pack to that poor limping goat. How does one decide here between the two? Which of the two actions become important? Now, Gandhiji was good at compartmentalizing and sorting between his actions, realizing that these are his commitments to not just a nation or that goat, but in fact to himself, his own way of life, a path that he had laid. And only due to lack of right expression or word, I'm using this word compartmentalized. Now, here prioritizing between his tasks is also not the right word or expression. But if one sees the way Gandhiji conducted himself, they can certainly say that he was clear about his intentions. And when intentions are there, when one operates through their intentions, there is, I think, clarity and alignment to their way of being. And he demonstrated that on a day to day manner throughout his life.
Absolutely. I like that word which you said about intentions, because when you see his actions, of course, result was important, and everyone works for result. No one will work without having an intention to achieve a result. But more importantly, rather than reaching the end by any hook or crook ways, he always focused on the means by which one has to reach that end. And that was very powerful. If you see that gesture when he takes that tray from the servant's hand, here the message is that we want to stop this slavery topic, or we want to, the master slave kind of relation which is getting established, we need to stop it. So Britishers were treating us as slaves was a part of that story. For him there was a bigger story to deal with. which was the topic of slavery in the first place. And that message he gave there, who were there sitting in the room, like whether it was for Nehru or for Sardar Patel or for Maulana Azad or for Jinnah, he gave that message by serving tea to each one of them. And if you see that movie particularly, he goes and gives a cup of tea in each one's hand, and that gesture is bigger. So if you see, his focus has always been on the means rather than the end. Today, in today's world, we are too focused on results. We want the result by any which way. And maybe these are different philosophies and there is no right and wrong about it, but then always the consequences follow after that.
Very true. I think you have rightly put that across because that action suddenly looks at giving dignity to us Indians rather than stopping the British from treating us and fellow Indians as slaves. Now, before we stop somebody else from treating us in an undesired manner, realizing that it's an action beyond our control and trying to stop that only brings resistance or friction. But to raise ourselves into a position that we first don't think of ourselves as slaves and we restore our own dignity, that is exactly what Gandhiji did. And at that moment, when Gandhiji took the tray from that helper or the servant from his ashram, he was no longer a slave. At some level, you can say that they were just two human beings there, merely serving the cause in their own capacity. And therefore, that helper must have felt so complete from within. His dignity was restored instantly.
Bang on. I think, as you rightly said, that servant got freedom that moment itself. He was not waiting for 15th August 1947. He could see that freedom in his eyes. He could experience that freedom in the environment there. But you are absolutely bang on. So that's the kind of freedom he was looking for, where each one gets the dignity. The work has its own dignity. So there is the dignity of labor. We talk a lot about it, but then many a times we ourselves forget. So I think, as a takeaway of this conversation, Shantesh, I think we all, even for our listeners, we can put some questions. Or before that, maybe if you want to add something, please feel free.
At this point, only thing that my attention goes to is even today, how are we articulating ourselves, conducting ourselves? If you think at some level we are conducting ourselves in the same manner as the British did, I don't mean to offend anyone here, but be it by operating from hierarchies and bringing the orders of high and low, rich and poor, upper and lower caste, we see it everywhere, and that raises serious concerns. And here, can we become present to uh, aware of the entire intention of Gandhiji that he struggled for? Even today, I feel a large chunk of our society needs to inquire that. And here, the only tribute to Gandhiji that we could offer is to leave this sort of past atrocities, those have continued from beyond our independence, and live a way of life that is inspired by his thoughts, taking ourselves and the nation into a direction that we really want.
Absolutely. So, as you rightly said, the intention is absolutely critical, and that's what has been seen in Gandhiji's all actions and gestures. So, whenever he was acting on any particular topic, there was a larger context to that rather than simply trying to solve that one context, whether it was the salt satyagraha, which we all know, or the non cooperation movement. The entire thing was on the premise of non violence, because the means, again, we come back to the means. How do we achieve a goal? So the means was what was going to be the deciding factor rather than reaching there anyhow. And that's what the kind of creation he was looking for, when it comes to whether it was India's freedom in a smaller context, and as we discussed on a larger context, to bring dignity, to bring simplicity, and to bring equality amongst Indians.
I think Gandhiji gave us more than just freedom. Now, no doubt that he was one of the prime anchors because of whom India got her independence, but at the same time, like you said, it is the means through which our independence was achieved becomes important here in this context. And here, a way of life was laid as a path for coming generations, which many may have forgotten after our independence. But one can say that that was his intention, beyond only achieving freedom from the British, to give a certain direction to this new nation. In this context, a question arises: what is important? The desired result to achieve India's freedom, or finding the values in the process, the means by which we achieved our freedom? While that achieved result is an important frame of reference in our history, the values from that process continue to inspire us even today. With that, we complete our today's episode. Once again, happy Gandhi Jayanti to all.
Thank you for listening. For more such podcasts and daily blogs, subscribe us on creating13.com, that is creating13.com. For 6 days a week, we write blogs on such topics with an intent to promote everyday writing. These blogs are inspired by our own writing, a morning ritual that we religiously follow. We hope that these texts will provide you some fodder for thought for an inner inquiry. We believe that writing each day allows one to observe life as is, and it brings a genuine clarity within. You can follow us on our Twitter or Instagram handle creating_13 or on our Facebook page creating13. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we wish to have you with us again next week for listening a new episode. Until then, take care.